Today I'm going to show you how to make a marble drip cake. So to start with, we want to assemble our cake. I have pre-made my cake and my buttercream, and I will link the recipes that I used below because I've posted those on the channel before. So I have 3 7-inch marble cakes, 2 batches of vanilla buttercream and 1 batch of chocolate buttercream. So to start with, we want to level all of our cakes out. So what I do is I use a tape measure, which I just purely use for cakes, and then a bread knife. And what you want to do is you want to go around and measure around the cake. I did 3 centimeters and I did 3 layers of 3 centimeters, but you can do yours whatever depth that you want. So you just go around and you mark around the cake just by pushing the knife in, so then it kind of makes marks around the cake to the height that you want. And then you want to start joining up those marks with your knife, just pushing into the cake slightly each time, which will then give you a nice even layer. You can get cake level cutters, but unless you're going to get the really expensive ones of those, this is the easier way of doing it, because cheap ones of those will just rip the cake to shreds. So this is kind of the better way, well, the easier way of doing it and the cheaper way of doing it, because you just need a bread knife and a measuring tape. And then I'm just going to make a sugar syrup to keep my cake nice and moist. This is an optional step, but I do find that it keeps the cake nicer for longer. So for the sugar syrup, you will need 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar and 100 millilitres of boiling water. So to your sugar, add your water, give it a really good stir until the sugar has dissolved into the water, and that is a simple sugar syrup. So now I'm going to assemble the cake. So to a cake board, I just put a little bit of my vanilla buttercream just to help the cake stick down onto the board. So I put the first layer on and then just drizzle some of that sugar syrup over the top, just trying to make the cake nice and moist. You don't want to put too much on it because it can make the cake really soggy and it can seep out of the bottom. So just enough just to dampen the cake. And then I'm just going to spread a layer of the chocolate buttercream. And then you're going to repeat for the second layer. So you're going to put the second layer on top. You want to drizzle over the sugar syrup over the top, making it nice and moist. And then I'm going to do a layer of vanilla buttercream. If you wanted to just do a vanilla buttercream for the whole cake, by all means go for it. I just quite liked, with it being a marble cake, having a layer of chocolate and a layer of vanilla. And then with your third and final layer, you just want to drizzle over, making it a nice moist cake, and then pop that on the top of your second layer, just kind of pressing down just to kind of make sure it sticks. And then we want to do a layer of a crumb coat. So a crumb coat is where you will spread buttercream, like a thin layer of buttercream around the cake, which will then trap all those crumbs in. So then when we do our second layer, it means that you're not going to get those crumbs showing through the buttercream. So just do a really thin layer all around the cake, making it nice and even. And then once you've done your crumb coat layer, you then want to pop it in the fridge just to let it set. I just popped it in for half an hour. It's just to help let it set. So then when you add your next layer, they don't kind of merge together. It becomes a layer on its own. And then once set, we just want to do our final layer of buttercream on the outside. So for the crumb coat and the final layer, I just used the vanilla buttercream. Looking back, I would have quite liked to do the buttercream as like an actual colour, so to use some food colouring just to make it pop, because I didn't realise how close a colour my buttercream was that was going to be to the white drip icing of the marble drip part of the cake. But by all means, you do what you guys want to do. Hopefully this will just help you guys when you decorate your own cakes. And then once you've got a really nice smooth final layer of buttercream, pop the cake back into the fridge for a good half an hour to an hour just to allow it to set. And then we are going to make our ganache for the top to make the marble drip. So for the chocolate ganache, you will need 50 grams of white chocolate, 30 grams of milk chocolate, and 50 millilitres of double cream. So to start with, you want to warm up your double cream. I have done mine in the microwave. You can do it on the stove if you want. If you are doing it in the microwave, do keep an eye on it because it will very quickly bubble over. So I'm always like by the microwave, ready to stop the microwave when it starts bubbling over. But you basically just want to warm your cream up until it's really nice and hot. And then having pre-chopped my chocolate with the white chocolate in one bowl and the milk chocolate in another, you want to put 25ml of double cream into the white chocolate and 25ml of double cream into the milk chocolate. And once you've added the hot cream, just allow it to stand for a couple of minutes just to help allow the chocolate to melt. And then you want to give it a really good mix until all of the chocolates are combined. So mix the milk chocolate mix and then mix the white chocolate mix, but keeping them separate. And then I just allow these to stand for a few minutes just to allow them to start cooling. So you will find when you do your drip, the cooler your ganache won't run as much. So it will fall in a bigger drip form. So if you put your ganache on when it's too hot, not only will it melt your buttercream, but it will be really runny and it will fall. So you get longer drips on it. So it all kind of depends on what you want on your cake. I prefer kind of bigger, shorter drips, but that's just my preference. So to make the marble effect with the drip, with the chocolate ganaches, you want to alternate the ganaches on top. So I did a spoonful of chocolate ganache. You want to spoon that on top of the cake near the edge and then just use that spoon just to kind of guide the ganache over the edge so then it creates that nice drip. So you don't want it to like go all over, so it's kind of controlled drippage. So once you've done a bit of milk chocolate, you then want to put a spoon of white chocolate next to it, and again just guide it over, just so then you have that nice drip effect over the side. And you want to alternate that round the cake, so then you have white then milk, then white then milk, then white then milk, all the way around. And then as I'm going, because I'm conscious that the ganache will be setting, I'm just going to use a knife just to try and marble the two chocolate ganaches together. So as you would with a marble cake where you run a knife or a skewer through to kind of mix it into that marble effect, that's all I'm doing, is just kind of dragging the two chocolates in between so then they create a marble effect. You don't want to do it too much because it will mix it together. And once you've gone all around the outside, you want to do a spoon of milk, a spoon of white, to fill in the middle part of your cake. And then again, using a skewer or a knife, just gently drag it through each of the chocolates just to create that marble effect. And then top your cake with whichever toppings you want. This I did for my husband's birthday, which was around Easter. So I actually had some mini eggs on hand, which is why I've used mini eggs. But by all means, you top your cake with whatever you want to top it with. And then just pop that back in the fridge to allow your ganache to set for about an hour. have it. That is how you make a marble drip cake.